you're listening to the One Idjit's Thoughts On podcast. I'm Paul Mackey. This is day 26 of the Dog Days of Podcasting Challenge 2026. I was going to talk about the other two shows that I covered during regular podcast episodes, but I'm putting that off until tomorrow. During the week, I've been writing these during lunch and recording them at some point after work. However, today was the monthly all-staff meeting at work, and two things are given about those meetings. One, that the meeting will always be scheduled to begin very close to when I usually start my lunch break. And two, that it will go on for a very long time. Then I end up having lunch with everyone else, and I have to socialize instead of writing a podcast episode, so it's got its pros and cons. But that will have to wait for another day, but I do have the daily trivia that I normally have. First, what platform game was released to various phones and consoles in 2015 by Bossa Studios? The player's on-screen character was a food item, and the goal of each level was to reach a cooked state. But the baking happened prior to the start of the game. The answer is, I Am Bread. I remember hearing about this game, but I've never actually tried it or even actually seen it. I was going to either ask about this game, the Untitled Goose Game, or Desert Bus. I wonder which was the easy one. I don't actually know the answer to that, which might be why everyone thinks my questions are super difficult. I just don't have a good gauge for that. And the second question, in 2021, Spotify went into the hardware market, specifically in the automotive market, introducing a product for users without Android Auto or Apple CarPlay in their cars. The device had a touchscreen and a rubber knob for menu navigation. It still required a smartphone and a connection to the car audio system. The product was generally considered a failure, and Spotify ended support by May 2024. What was it called? Well, it's a thing that you use to listen to music in your car. So they called it the car thing, and for some reason, not enough people bought one. Alright, well, let's get two new questions for the day, shall we? This first one was written to follow on from a question earlier on, but it wasn't adjacent on my question list, so the segue is apparently out. And no, it's not a segue. But the Merlin handheld game featured a pattern repetition game similar to Milton Bradley's Simon. In 1996, a popular toy from Hasbro called out verbal commands for player actions, and that game remains on the market to this day. Voice actor Buddy Rubino has been enthusiastically calling out commands since 2008 for what handheld game? And second, a fad toy of 1975 included stones from a Mexican beach, which were purchased for less than a penny each. The creator, ad executive Gary Dahl, became a millionaire after profits of about 95 cents per unit on what gag gift? So tomorrow I'll talk more about those TV shows, but until then, happy hunting! You've been listening to the One Idjit's Thoughts On podcast, produced by Paul Mackey in association with Nimlas Studios. Any short clips of audio from shows is included under fair use for commentary purposes, and copyright for that content remains with its original copyright holders. The theme song is Too Good by Jack Mangan and is used by his generous permission. One Idjit's Thoughts is produced under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License. You can find more episodes of this podcast and many other fine podcasts at nimlas.org. You can contact me by emailing idjitcastpodcast@gmail.com or commenting on episodes at nimlas.org.